well, and hopefully all this will do everything it should. Awesome. All right. Can everyone see my screen as well? Just let me know if you can see my screen. I'm just going to start the screen share. There we go. Fantastic. Everyone can see me. So we've got Chun here from Hong Kong, Glenn here from Orlando. Nice to meet you, Glenn. Sweden, Piers from Sweden, New York, Clive, Italy. Nicoletta is from Italy. Avi, good to have you on again. Fantastic. From Israel, all the way from Israel. What's the time over there right now? It must be quite late. Singapore. Yak is from Singapore. I was in Singapore the other week. Awesome. And we have Buffalo, New York. We have Canada. Stan from Canada. Larry from Atlanta. It's 1 a.m. in Hong Kong. Yeah, it's about 12 a.m. here, Chun. I'm not too far away here in Thailand. Avi, it's a lot better time where you are. We've got 6 p.m. here in Nicoletta. And Pascal from Bordeaux, I believe that's in France, if I'm correct, makes very nice wine in Bordeaux from memory. Hoping to go over that way sometime soon, actually. So anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about today is this is a webinar for Digital Sales Lab. Digital Software Lab. I always get caught up. I want to say sales, but it's Digital Software Lab. And I wanted to first of all welcome everyone into this program. It's an exciting system. I'm really happy about how it turned out and how this is really helping people to get started in this business. Already this week, I've actually had a few customers that got into the system reaching out to me on Facebook and other places, mainly for advice, but also saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know I've got my first software underway, which is fantastic. And it's really exciting to hear that as well. So I hope that everyone on this call has had the chance to go through the software system. Today, what we're going to be going through is I'm first of all going to take you through a wee tour of the system itself, Digital Software Lab. You're going to get one final chance to get access to any of the one-time offers you may have missed. So if you may have missed one of those one-time offers, today is your chance to get access before the price goes up tonight. So I want to make sure you get the chance to do that. Plus, I also want to go through some easy ways of getting your software out there once you've got it created. I first want to show you an example of one of the sites that we use to find out sources, and also want to give you some ammunition when it comes to, once you've got your software ready, or if you're looking to get a software out there, how you can get started with that. Cool. So I hope that is good. All right. So, yeah, you've heard what we're going to go through today. So this is me, a bit about me. I got started online when I was about... Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold, by the way, so if I snivel a bit, that's why. I got started online. I tried to get started online for the first time when I was about 16. I heard about this guy who was living in the bottom of my parents' rental home, who was making all kinds of money. He was making... the first time I heard about him, he was only making about $300 a week. He was working part-time online with his job, and he was telling me about how he was selling books through ClickBank and doing this digital publishing. And I found it quite fascinating, but not that interesting. $300 a week is less than the average minimum wage here, or where I was in New Zealand. So it wasn't that much. Then one month I went back and I visited him. And I walked through the door, and all I could hear was bing, 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 bing. And it was sales coming into his inbox. Every single one of those bings was going into the old Outlook, the Outlook desktop email system that we used to use. And he told me, he said, every one of those is a sale from ClickBank. And he told me they had made over $70,000 over the past month simply online selling digital products. And that's when I first got really interested in it. He had a new BMW in his driveway. He ended up buying a new house up in Auckland, New Zealand, and traveled the world for about 1 to 2 years as a result of his online business. And I always wanted to be able to do that myself after seeing him do that. And fast forward about 10 years, and it's happened for me. My wife and I, we've had the chance to travel the world. We're currently in Thailand living here. We're about to head off to Europe. We've been to Maldives, which is by the picture right here, Phuket. I've been to Holland, Russia, a lot of different countries, which has been really cool. And it's all happened because we've been able to build this business. And it didn't start immediately from me. It was a real battle. It was a very difficult process. To say it was easy would be a big understatement. It was or overstatement. I don't know what you'd call that, but it was very hard. I started off in offline marketing, and I was doing that when I was 19 years old. I started basically calling businesses and saying, hey, I could help you with your marketing. At the time, I didn't know much about marketing, but I did know how to set up a website. I did know how to do some SEO things. I did know how to email market. So I used the skills that I did know, and I developed them with my offline marketing companies. Then I wanted to get online, and that was a big mission. It wasn't as easy as it sounds. I remember staying up some nights working, around the clock, trying to get myself online. And the reason I was able to crack it, and this is one of the reasons that it happened for me within a few months, not a few years, is that I thought about Muhammad, the guy that had got started. He was from my parents' rental home that had made money. And I actually posted on Warrior Forum. I said, hey, has anyone seen this guy Muhammad? I want to talk to him. And thankfully, some people had. Some people had his contact details as well. So I was put in touch with him, and I drove from Wellington to Auckland. It's about a 7-hour drive just to have a coffee with this guy. And I sat down with him. I told him what I'd been doing. I told him that I wanted to get online and I wanted to sell digital products like he did. And I told him what I had done. And he said, well, what are you waiting for? You've got everything you need. All you need to do is write some sales copy and then put it online and see if it converts. The sales copy is the key. You've got your product, you know the demand for it, so write some sales copy up and then put it out online. And I was inspired, I was excited, and I drove all the way back down to Wellington that night. I got back at about 1 a.m. I didn't sleep. I launched my first product at about 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning New Zealand time, which over in the States is probably about, I think it's about 12 p.m. in the States. So at about 12 p.m. in the States, I had launched my first product. And I remember I was exhausted. I went to the bathroom, went and got some, I think it was a drink or something like that. And I came back to my computer and I saw in my inbox I had one sale. And I thought, oh no, this poor person has bought my product. I was really scared of what people would think of me. And then I suddenly thought, bing, 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 sales started coming in. Before I went to bed, I had made almost $100 online, $100. I went to bed at about 8 a.m. I woke up at 1 p.m. New Zealand time, which is about, I think it was about 9 p.m. US time. And I had made over $600 that first day, $600, my first product. And over the next week, I made about $3,000. Over the next month, or the next month, I made about $10,000. And this all happened within a very short space of time. And the reason that I put this down to is, first of all, Muhammad motivated me to take action. I was scared. I wasn't sure what people would think. He motivated me to take action. It reminds me of Josh as well. Josh got started online, and Josh is a good friend of mine. I know Josh, who I launched Digital Software Lab with, and he's the creator of Digital Software Lab. He's the one on the trainings and taking you through the whole process. And his journey was much similar. He took action. He put his first product out there. It was a digital good. It was actually a training course about Adobe After Effects, and it sold. I think he sold a few $1,000s worth. Then he continued to do that, and eventually he was able to quit his job, and now he works full-time online, and he has the freedom to travel around. I know that just recently he was in New Zealand. He's also been to Hong Kong in the past week, and he's done a lot around that as well. And it happens. It's no mistake that Josh and I have had this success online, but it does take action, and as long as you know the steps, it becomes a lot easier. So let me ask you a quick question. Who here has been online looking to make money for the past year? Put your hand up. Put a 1 in the box. Put a 1 in the box. Cool. Put a 2 in the box if you've been online trying to make money for the last 2 years. Put that in your in the box. Cool. We got a few twos. Has anyone been trying to make money online for 5 years or more? Put a 5 in the box if that's the case. Awesome. We got a lot of people saying 5 years. The first thing I want to say is that I was in that group as well. It took me to make money online from first finding out about online marketing, from reading my first book. It actually took me, thinking about it now, I was 21, so it took me about 5 years before I started making things happen. So whether you're starting off, whether it's taken 1 year or 5 years, you can make money within a short period of time with this business as long as you put a few things into action. Now, Josh is the same. Josh was lucky. Josh didn't take 5 years. He took probably about 6 months to a year it took for Josh to get online and start making money, which is pretty cool. There's not many people that do get started that quickly, but it does happen. So whether you've started online, whether it's been a week, a month, a year, 12 months, 12 years, you can get started online, and it just takes a few things and a few steps. You just need to know a few steps in order to make it happen. Now, in my opinion, the easiest way to get started online and the best way is by selling a good or a service that someone needs. And right now, one of the most popular services and goods or markets is the online marketing niche. If I could tell you that, you could start making $1,000 a month comfortably within the next 3 months in the online marketing niche, who would think that was pretty cool? Put a 1 in the box if you think that was pretty cool. Because I've gone through trainings and I've helped people achieve this very successfully and very safely. We've had some even earn as much as a few $100,000 who have had the opportunity to go through and train, and it can happen. So it can happen wherever you are, whatever your situation is, it can happen. So it's my challenge today to show you how to make that happen. And I want to go through a few places that, really helped me when I first started out, some bits and pieces that I know will make a big impact for you. And I hope that in going through this today, it'll help you do that. So what I want to first of all do is, you've got your current training in Digital Software Lab. I want to first of all go through that with you right now, because the best place that you can start right now, and if you haven't already, is going through Digital Software Lab. It's going to reveal to you exactly how you can get started online with software. Now, there is many different things you can sell online, and you don't have to sell software. You can sell digital training, and there's many ways you can do that. So I'm going to show you my perspective, what I think is the best way to get started online today, and then from there we can move on and go through some of that. First of all, this is Digital Software Lab here. I'm just going to enlarge this for you here, and this is a picture of Josh, so you'll know Josh from the training. And the first place you should go is get started. There are links here to the different upsells and upgrades. So if you did miss out on one of those, probably the most valuable one that I recommend getting is this white label package here. We've got a couple of VIP workshops, which will really help as well. But I do recommend getting access to that. Now, if I click Get Started, it's going to take you to the first training section. Now, that's section number 1. Now, section number 1 is all about how to get started online, what you need to know in terms of going out there and developing your own software. And we believe that software, when it comes to long-term income, is one of the best ways of making money online. There's a lot of people that have made a significant amount of money online selling software. And every single day you see new software come into the marketplace. Let me ask you a question. Who has bought a software in the last 30 days who's on this call? Put a 1 in the box if you've bought or purchased some sort of software within the last 30 days. And I would have to put a 1 in there. I'd probably put about 5 in there, because I've probably purchased about 5 bits of software in the last 30 days alone. Software is great. It can automate your business. It can save time. And the great thing about software is that you don't have to be someone who's making $100,000 a year online in order for your software to be successful. You could have never made a cent online in your life, but still go out there and launch your first software successfully. The reason being that people are purchasing your software because they like your software, and not because you're promising them they're going to make money or doing anything like that, or you're revealing some sort of strategy or loophole you found in Facebook for making money. No, you can, in launching your software, it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got a good software, you've got a quality software, people will buy from you. And I've so far got on this webinar, we have quite a few people on this call, but already I can see a lot of people who have purchased softwares in the last 30 days. So my question to you is, or my challenge with Digital Software Lab, can you position yourself to be the type of person that people are buying from? How cool would it be if people on this call had actually purchased your software in the last 30 days? How can you position yourself so you're the person that people would want to buy from in this market? And it just takes an idea and a good developer. And there's 3 ways of doing this. You don't have to just do this and launch a software after paying thousands of dollars to create the software. There are 3 ways of doing that, and I'll show you that on this call. So this is the section that you should start off with. Go here, an introduction to Digital Software Lab. It's going to take you through the basics, types of digital softwares. Josh and I have both created a large range of softwares. We've probably sold in the last year over $1 million combined in software products. So that's going to take you through how to brainstorm ideas, the process we take. And it's not a difficult process, but it does take time. Now, the next step is creating your UI, okay, your user interface. This is an important step. Developers are developers for a reason. They're not designers. So if you want your software to look good, and if you want it to look attractive, then I highly encourage you to make sure that your developer has a blueprint to work off. They need some sort of blueprint to work off, some sort of UI design to work off. Let me show you one of the UIs that I recently created, actually. That might be quite a good idea, quite a good thing to show you. There is a UI that I recently designed for CTA Bar. CTA Bar is a piece of software that we recently created. And the reason that we recreated the UI is that we found that customers of ours wanted a better user experience. And the best way to do that was by actually providing them with a UI. So I'm just going to find that and show you what the UI looks like. And it doesn't have to be something difficult. I simply got my designer to whip up some designs, and that was the case. I'm getting a few people saying that they bought that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying it. Excellent. All right, let me find this. And I'll just go and find it now. It's just in here somewhere. I remember sending it to my developer. So I just need to find where I sent it to my developer, and then we'll be good. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. Now I want to show you this because it'll show you a good example of what this UI should look like. So give me just a second and I'll have it very soon. All right, I'm going to find my designer and I'll find my designer's design. It won't be a moment. And Josh said he'll join the webinar very shortly as well. All right, now let's just find this design. Cool, here it is. All right, won't be a moment. Here it is. Sorry guys for the wait. I should have been more prepared because I always I wasn't planning on talking about UI designs, and then suddenly, oh, there we are, we're on this page. So I just had one recently created, so let's just show you that. So I'll just find this, and if I can't find it in the next 2 minutes, then I won't be able to show you at all, but we'll just see. All right, we'll just see. Here we are. Perfect. All right. Here are the UIs, all the PSDs. Okay, cool. So we get them designed into what's called PSDs. They're Photoshop documents, basically. And let me show you how those look. So this is an example of the new UI that we're installing for CTA bar. So my developer, what he did is he recreated these different designs. So let me just show you one of them, for example. And so this is the settings tab. So this is a new UI. Now, if you're a CTA bar member, if you've actually seen the CTA bar, if you are a member, what do you think about these UIs versus what we currently have on CTA bar right now? How would you compare the difference? Because the current CTA bar setup, we made a mistake. We actually got our developer to create the UI. And one of the reasons that we did that was we were short of time. At that particular case, we wanted to see if the software was possible. So if you're a CTA bar user, say yes if you think this software looks far better than the current version, because you'll really know what an impact it makes having a UI. And I'm getting a lot of yeses coming in from the CTA bar members. Fantastic. All right, good. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that it makes a big difference having a UI created before you create the software. It can allow you to basically know what kinds of designs you like and what kind of designs you dislike, what kind of structures look good and what kind of structures don't look so good. And it also will help you refine your ideas in that early process of getting your UIs created. And now with this new software design, I'm really excited about it. I know that our customers are going to love it. It's a free upgrade. It's a free thing we're doing for all our members, and it'll mean that people will like our software. They'll talk about it more, and more people will come back, hopefully, to continue using our software because the software looks great and it also works great. So definitely UIs are very important and highly recommended when you're in the software business. All right, cool. So we've done that. Now, you go to the bottom, you go through the UI. It's going to go through creating your UI, how you can do it. You've also got a pre-done UI that you can use yourself to pass into your developer or design. Josh is fantastic with design, and he's created some of that as well. Then we've got into outsourcing your designer. How do you find a good designer? Now, there's a few great sites, and using this, Graphic River is one of them, so there's a quick video on that. There's also another site that we frequently get designs off that's also mentioned in this video. So do make sure that you run through this and go through that. Then after you've got your UI design, you know how your software is going to look, you know how it's going to function, how everything's going to look and work. That's when you get a developer, okay? So you don't get the developer before your UI, you get it after you've done your UI. Now UIs, what you should pay on average for a UI with a good designer is about $800. But you can get away with a cheaper designer, or if you're a designer yourself or you know Photoshop, you can actually go ahead and create your own UI. Or you can just get your friend to do it for a lot lower cost. I've used both solutions, both will work. But that's what you should expect from your UI. So if you are going to create your software, make sure you're serious about it so you can create a UI, invest something into it, and make it work. Now, in this section, software development, it goes through the different types of softwares that are available that can be created. There's Mac softwares, there's Windows softwares, there's cloud-based softwares, Adobe Air-based softwares, web-developed based softwares, and they're all different codes. And usually what you'll find is developers that you have coming on will specialize in a particular code. Say, for example, if you're looking to build on the web, you'll have a PHP developer. Okay, but if you're looking to, build an Adobe software, you'll have someone that specializes in Adobe Air code, which I'm actually not sure what code that is, but it's a different type of code basically. And these different codes, depending on what kind of code it is, it's going to either cost you more or less. Say, for example, a Ruby coder, someone who codes in Ruby will cost probably about $150 per hour. Whereas a PHP developer, you can get them as low as $15 an hour, someone who's good with PHP. So it's important that you know which code you want to code this in. The most common style or type of code that anyone starting off will be using is PHP. It's also the cheapest. You can get it done for the lowest cost, and it can be really good. So that's going to go through all the different codes you need to know. Next, you need to create some sort of detailed software overview. Now, we do this so our developer understands how everything's meant to function. Because you've got a UI already done before you start the software development process, it makes it so much more easy for the developer to understand what kind of, how it's going to work and function. But sometimes you're going to need a plan to show the developer. So make sure that you create that as well. Now, this is probably one of the biggest and most complicated processes of this whole thing. Or not complicated, but simple, but it can turn everything wrong, basically. When you're finding a developer, it's important that you really weed through and find someone who's really good. You can either find someone on odesk.com, on this site, odesk.com, or you can go and find someone who's a friend of yours or someone you've worked with in the past who's a developer. And the reason that you want to do that, and I'll just go and I'll show you an example of this. The reason that you want to do that is you want to make sure that your developer is a good developer. And if you get a bad developer, it can mean you waste a lot of money, you don't get the job done right, and you can't use the software in future as well as you want to. So it's important that you find a good developer. Now, what I'll often do is I'll often ask friends of mine if they know of any developers. Does anyone know of a friend they could ask, who has a potentially good developer? Put a 1 in the box if you think you've got, a friend who could help you do that. Cool, we've got some ones coming in. And if you don't, no problem. You can use odesk.com and you can search for your developers. So you can see here I've got some jobs. These are the types of jobs that I would post. Adobe Air application developer needed. I've got 32 people who have applied, 5 have messaged me, and I've offered and hired 2 people. Create a UI for our web app. I've got people that have bidded, and this is all you need to do. Go into jobs, go into post a job, all right? Go into jobs, go into post a job after signing up for Odesk, and simply post a job. I challenge everyone on this webinar tonight to go and post a job today. Don't wait around. Go and post a job on Odesk today. If you're looking to get someone to create a web app, and you've got an idea, go ahead and find a developer. Even if you don't have an idea, it's a great idea for you to go ahead and post a job tonight. You don't need to do much. Looking for someone to develop my web-based application. Hi, I am looking for with experience to help me create a web app. All right, so you go through the process, you go fill out all these details. It's really easy. You can choose to pay by the hour or pay by a fixed cost. Now, I recommend paying by a fixed cost. The reason being, if you pay someone by a fixed cost, it means that you can make sure that you're not spending too much. And it means that also you can put, when you're first starting out, you can put a timeline on it, how much you actually want to pay for a piece of software to get done. We had a situation recently where a developer had created a software and it had been done really well, but he hadn't quite finished it and he wasn't doing any more work. So basically, because we had it set up correctly, we were able to get the code and get another developer to take over and work it without losing much money. So there's a possibility to do that when you're paying or using a fixed cost opposed from others as well. And Harvey, thanks for that. I'll plug in very soon. I think it'll last. I've got about 51 minutes left on this battery, so we'll see how we go. Cool. Chun has asked a good question. What's the difference between a GUI and a UI? Chun, I've created probably close to about 10 to 15 different softwares, but I have to honestly say that I have no idea. I think there is a difference, but they mean the same thing to me. GUI is a user interface. So it's an user interface, basically, a designed user interface that you can use. So I'd say they probably mean the same thing. Cool. Now, when it comes to bugs, all right, good question, Pascal, good question. Now, what I usually do is the software, if it's a fixed cost, it'll be till the software is finished. So we've got to make sure that when we're communicating with the developer that they know exactly what the point is that the software is done. So we would have all the different UI or GUI done. We would show them this needs to work like this. This needs to work like this. And you don't pay the developer until it's working exactly as it's stated. If there are bugs, make sure you test the software because the developers shouldn't get paid until they've made sure that all those bugs have been taken out. Does that make sense? Cool. Tim has solved the problem. All right, cool. Tim has said a GUI is a graphical user interface. So it's basically a user interface that uses graphics. Very cool. Thank you for that. That clears that up. I learned something new as well. Now, once the software is published, is it an extra cost? No, it should be included. You should have that included as part of it. It should be working online, ready to go, and ready to sell. And if you're talking with a developer, if that's what your goal is, you should be setting that as a fixed cost and then continuing from there. Awesome. So once you've done that, you can post jobs. All right. So I'm going to go into my jobs. And once you've posted your first job, your developers will show up in your job section right here. So let's just say, for example, this is a UI that I found, a bunch of UI designers, and this is how the jobs worked. So I posted the jobs, and people were bidding. All right. So for me, I wanted a full site, fully developed, basically. I needed a really good web app done. And I posted this for my potential candidates. I said my budget was about $1,000, and then I let them bid on it. So let's just go into this person's bid. And yes, there'll be a replay, Waldo. Cool. So this is Fahim Changani, and he's from Pakistan. Now, he's put in a cover letter. I asked him 2 questions. What past project or job have you had the most like this one, and why? Please check our ODS profile and portfolios. That's a pretty common question and not really interested. So this person, I didn't hire him because even though he was a money-back guarantee, because he didn't seem like he really wanted the job. There's a lot of red flags. But one of the good things about him is that he did have a lot of different ratings, high ratings, and you can see here that his apps also were very good. They were actually similar to the types of apps that I wanted, and you can actually see these different apps and different types of apps that he's created in the past. Now, what I do is when I'm interviewing someone, I actually ask them, can you show me something that's very similar to this that you've done in the past? And I specifically will ask them for the created designs. And I'll make sure if I can verify that that's theirs, I'll make sure I check. Because occasionally you'll find that an outsourcer will actually find someone else's good design and say that that's theirs. It's happened a few times. Doesn't happen often, but it's very, it's very good to make sure that you've done that. Cool, so that was that. If I decided to hire them, I could tick this and say hire now. I can always shortlist them, and there's a bunch of different options that I can use. So I could hide, I could, do all sorts of things. So once you hire someone, then you can communicate back and forth with them. I often will ask them to come on Skype. I'll say, hey, can you meet me on Skype? And then from there, I'll do that. Now, Clive, there isn't really any way to verify other than searching in Google and having a look. A developer recently sent me an example project that he had created, and I was able to verify that it was him because it was actually a software that had been created from, and I'd actually purchased the software myself, and it was created by a friend of mine who had created the software, and I purchased it because I thought it was a really cool software, and this was the developer who had created it. So I was able to verify that way, but sometimes you don't get that lucky. I actually found out the developer wasn't very good and had a very messy end to that contract, and I didn't end up continuing with them because of that, because of the advice of the person who had created that. So any investigation you can do will really help. Cool. Now, this is, it all depends, and this project will all depend on what you expect the developer to do. So you need to make it clear, or the designer to do. So you need to make it clear what it is that you're looking for them to do. And if it's, say, for example, continual bug testing and support for their software, or your software you got them to create, often I'll pay an amount hourly if they're actually supporting customers of mine and doing that process. Cool. So that's the system. There's a bunch of resources we have here as well. Once you get into the membership site, you'll see it. You've got a GUI template. You've got an Optimize Pro themes. Now, these are really cool. We use Optimize Press for all of our different sites that we create. This is Optimize Press that this digital software lab was created in. So you can actually download some of our templates to help sell your software. Then we've got some different bonuses here that are worth checking out as well. That'll help you with selling your software. Cool, let's go back to the start. All right, now, why have I come back here? I shouldn't be back here. Home. All right, cool. So I'm going to post in this right here now. This is the upgrade, the white label upgrade. Now, the price of this is going to be increasing as we pull this off the market, most likely tomorrow. So if you do want to get access to the resale rights of these different applications, if you want to get access to the resale rights, the white label rights, right now you can get access for $67. So if you want to get access to these, you've got a limited time to do it. Now, these are 4 of our softwares we've created ourselves. So you actually get in your hands 4 softwares to use and sell as your own. You don't have to create these. You don't have to go through the hassle of getting a developer to develop them. You don't have to put any work in. You just can continue on and use our softwares and sell them. If you want this for $67 before it gets taken off the market, go to digitalsoftwarelab.com/upgrade1. This will be likely the only time you'll get the chance to have all of these. We've also included, as part of it, as we go down, Video Script, a software we've sold over $160,000 worth of. Mobile Smart Link, this is another software that I think we've sold over $70,000 worth. Social Post Suite, over $70,000 worth. And also as part of that, you get Social Post Manager as part of this process here. And this is one we've actually sold over $120,000 worth. So all very valuable softwares. There's a hot demand for them, and they'll be included as part of this OTO. And yes, it'll be the entire package. You can use these as your own. It's a pretty cool software deal just to have these as your own, but let alone getting white label rights to them. So I'm sure many of them will many of you will have got access to this. There'll be a video added into the members area, most likely tomorrow, going over how to rebrand these if you want to rebrand them. And then basically create new logos, create a new sales page, and you'll brand your sales page. You can't rebrand the membership areas, but you can rebrand the front of them if you'd like. And that's what you get with this package. So it's going to be $67. You can see it in chat. And yes, these are developer versions as well. So you can use this with your clients as well. Now, this gets you access to sell the software, as it doesn't get you access to the code or to redevelop them. Okay, so these are licenses to sell. You get an unlimited amount of licenses to sell to these softwares, so it's 100% commissions to you. You can't change the code or do anything like that with them. We've got registration details inside of the members area, which you can send out to people once they purchase, and that can be used in that way. Cool. Now, the next opportunity is this right here. This is our webinar series. We're doing this next week. This includes basically a couple of workshops that Josh and I will be running, and this is going to go into the more advanced information, cover what I've covered today, but go a bit more in depth, not only into software, but also the sales side of things. A lot of people actually pay me up to a significant amount of money to launch their softwares. Say, for example, the last or a couple of softwares ago, per launch, I can get up to $30,000 or $40,000 for helping someone launch their software to the marketplace. So this is going to go through the sales side of it in a big way, where to go actually to sell your softwares, how to go out and start selling them, how to actually sell software for other people. And if you're looking to do this and you're looking to create software and sell it for free, it's going to go a bit more into that depth as well into that. One of the first things that I did when I was first launching software, when I launched my first software, I did that with a developer that I'd found who I had an agreement with that he would keep 50% of the profits and I would keep 50% of the profits, and he would develop the software for free for me to go out and sell. So you can do a JV agreement like that with developers, and if the developer likes you, then you can always ask if that's a possibility. There are quite a few developers that are open to that, and there's quite a few people out there that you'll find who will be open to that as well. And if you know someone as a friend who can do that, or if you connect with someone on the Warrior Forum who can do that as well, that's a possibility as well. So if you want to get access to this is only available till tomorrow. Then we're pulling it because the everything starts. You can get access to it at upgrade 2. All right, so it'll be available in upgrade number 2. Finally, my wife works is a big part of what happens here. Her name is Eva. She does everything from organizing launches to creating bonus pages, creating sales pages, writing copy, creating everything that goes on behind the scenes. So what she's done since she got involved in the business, she was surprised at the fact there was nothing written down. There was nothing processed. There was no tick by tick, step by step checklists and anything like that. So what she did is she actually created them for our business, and she started chunking down everything that's involved with launching a software to the market and hiring people to do the software. And she's got it split it up into 5 different phases. And Avi's just saying Eva does a great job. She does. She's everywhere, from helping out in support to helping with launches. And right now, I think she's actually she's on her computer doing some work. So this is a really good course. And for just $17, it's going to be launched for a bit more soon. But you can get access to this for $17, all the different resources you can have in your hands, all the different step-by-step sheets that she uses on a regular basis to go out there and start making money with, which is really cool. So that's available. Now, I just want to say, Josh, are you on? I saw Josh pop into the chat, so it's a possibility that Josh is on the call.
Hello.
How's it going? Sorry, I apologize, Josh. I put you on the spot here. Josh didn't know about the webinar until about an hour ago. Probably discovered it.
Less than an hour, like half an hour ago.
Yeah. I had completely forgotten that we had this webinar today until my wife actually reminded me, oh, you've got a webinar today. And I didn't believe her. And then suddenly I got an email in my inbox saying there was a webinar today. So I quickly messaged Josh and jumped on here. So Josh, I'll get you up to speed on what we've covered so far. Basically, I've gone through a quick tour of the membership site and gone over with everyone the different parts of Odesk, hiring people, different differences in UI designs, and we're just going through the different upgrades that are available today. And we're just about to start on the section where people can ask questions so you're coming on right at the right time, I guess, to answer some good questions. So if anyone has any questions, put them in the chat for either Josh or I about the course, the system, or anything you've gone over on this webinar. And we really encourage you to get access to the upgrades. If you do want to get access to the sales side of things, if you want to go through in more detail in a couple of really in-depth sessions, upgrade number 2 is for you. All the details are in chat. So there you go. All right, because you haven't said much so far, Josh, on this webinar, since you just came on, I'll let you answer the first question. What are the major pitfalls in software development that you've found?
Well, I guess if I could kind of answer this question, the main thing that you want to do when you're looking to work with developers and in software development is make sure that you do your background check. So if you're going to look for a developer, make sure that his reviews are really, really good. And it's probably Sam and I've talked about, you really want to hire someone through like a site like Odesk because they're a really reliable site. And if you do have any problems with the developer, you just get in touch with Odesk and they can sort out like a refund for the money that you've invested if there are any problems. But the main thing is like that you have a clear plan for your software that you want to develop, and that before you actually hire the developer on Odesk, you want to make sure that you set a clear terms, kind of like a term and condition kind of contract with the developer. Make sure that he understands exactly what is required of him for your project that you're creating. So I think the main pitfall is that if you don't really at the beginning, if you don't set out what you want to have created from the developer, and you kind of if you're not really sure yourself, then often developers they kind of slack off and they don't really give you 100%. So you really want to make sure that you've got a clear plan and an action plan of what you want developed, and that you make that plan really clear to the developer. That you're in you want something done professionally and that you want it done according to your guidelines that you set. So the main thing, just make sure that you plan out everything really, really easily and clearly for the developer.
Awesome. Now I'm just getting a few questions, so I'm just going to show about upgrade number 3. Now the webinars, you can read about them in the upgrade, what's included in them, but I'll just show you one of the process sheets from the upgrade number 3. So everyone knows what format they are and what's included in them. So I'll just bring up on the screen. All right, here's phase number 3, for example. So just lost my screen. I'll just pop that out. There we are. Cool. So you can see here a guide to launching. This is in this particular section. It goes into naming your product, how to purchase your domain, setting a WordPress site up, setting your autoresponder up, and also getting your support team in place. So you can see here from the different sections, it basically will go into step by step in a 1, 2, 3, 4 type format, what's included in each of these different parts, sections. So you can see here, material for JV, for customers and JV. So what type of material do you need? It says here, make your JV page. Here is an example. It says create or add your JV page to muncheye.com, which is a launch site. Then it says make a sales page. See this example here. And it goes through different steps, what needs to happen in the entire launch process of going from starting a software to launching a software, step by step, what you need to have so you don't miss anything. One of the biggest problems when I was first starting out is I felt like I was missing things all the time. And that's why it took so long, because I wasn't sure what the next step was. This will just give you every single step laid out in detail so you're not missing anything, and everything becomes a lot more easy for you to do.
Yeah, great. Let me just quickly say as well, because